Hello, friends. Welcome to Monday morning. Welcome back to my car on this October 3rd. You know, October 3rd is the greatest day in the history of humanity. You know why? Because on October 3rd in the year 1978, this guy was born. So, yes, it's always the coolest thing to do to wish yourself a very happy birthday and let everybody else know that it is, in fact, your birthday. Only the coolest people pull tactics like that one. Welcome to my car, my Ash Gregoire Shaman and Nissan. Good to be with you on this Monday, the second week of Habs preseason camp. The Canadians, if you like the Ottawa Senators, my friends, this week is for you. That's right. We're getting closer. The Canadians' regular season begins on Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, October the 12th, when the Habs welcome in Toronto. And the Habs will tangle with the Leafs tonight at 7 o'clock on TSN 690. And get ready because the Leafs are bringing their heavy hitters, all their guys, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Morgan Riley. The big stars for Toronto are going to shine bright tonight at the Bell Center. And get an early taste of what life is going to be like for this Montreal Canadiens team that put pen to paper with goaltender Jake Allen, inking him up to a 2-year deal. It's a great contract. I think everybody understands the lay of the land, so to speak. The Canadiens go into the season with Jake Allen and Sam Montembeault as their starting tandem in goal, and that's fine. That's the way it should be. What's happening here, I think, is the realization of how important Carey Price is to the success of the Montreal Canadiens. And knowing that, Stefan Waite fed me some awful information back in July, and I took him at his word when he told me that he had spoken with Carey Price and just spoke to him minutes ago, and Price's belief was that his body was responding well to the treatment, and Price believed in July that he was going to be ready to start the season. Well, we know that's not true. We know that Carey Price's career might be over. I think there's a greater chance that Price's career is over than the chance of Price coming back, but we'll wait and see. And the miracles of modern medicine, hopefully they shine bright on Carey Price because it's still a massive hole that needs to be filled. And I think Jake Allen and Sam Montembeault are going to be the tandem. There isn't Jake Allen is the number one goaltender, but he's not a number one. Like he's number one in Montreal based on the circumstance. But I don't think anybody looks at Jake Allen and says, man, this is a ride or die. This is the guy you want to build your organization around. No disrespect to Jake Allen. I think he would probably agree with a statement like that at this point of this guy's career. And he signs for 2 years. He wants to be a part of the rebuilding process, wants to be a part of the solution with the organization. I think he's a fantastic teammate. I think he's a very mature sounding Montreal Canadian player who really, I think, means it, that he wants to be a part of the next wave of Montreal Canadiens and being a part of something that you're starting from scratch and building up. I mean, it is kind of fun. I see where he's coming from. But it also, I think, provides an opportunity for the organization, for Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon, to identify whether or not Caden Primo is their guy. Is Caden Primo part of the plans? Is Caden Primo going to be the next star goaltender in the Montreal market? Which is kind of interesting because I'm 44 years old. Stefan Richer shout out that for as long as I can remember watching the Montreal Canadiens, you guys, the face and the star of the franchise has always been the goaltender. From Patrick Waugh all the way up to Carey Price. And there's been a couple of lulls, right? David Abisher comes to mind, but the Canadiens have always been a goaltender first kind of franchise. It's why the last 100-point guy of the Montreal Canadiens was who? Who was the last 100-point guy for the Canadiens? Right, Mats Naslund. Who was the last guy to score 50 goals for the Montreal Canadiens? You know the answer? Right, Stefan bleepin' Richer. We're talking, arguably over 30 years. 30 years. Like, Carey Price, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I do not believe Carey Price, for as many games as this guy has played, for as long as he's played in Montreal, Carey Price has never had better than a point-a-game player that played in front of him, ever. Alex Kovalev might be the guy. Alex Kovalev might have put 80 in an 82-game season. But I don't think he was a point a game. I don't think he was certainly better than a point a game, right? So arguably, for a lot of you watching and listening right now, Carey Price in the goaltending position in Montreal has been the be-all, end-all of this team's success. They go as far as whoever the goaltender is takes them. And I think we're seeing, for the first time anyway in my lifetime, a little bit of a changing of the guard. Now, look, it's not intentional. I think Ken Hughes, if he could have a mulligan, a take back in life, he would take back Carey Price's injury and have this guy medically healed and ready to go. And the Canadians would be a better team with Carey Price instead of a by committee, let's figure it out. But if you're trying to draw silver linings, if you're trying to draw the positive from what is a negative situation, talking about the goaltending with the Canadians, it's this. It gives the organization 2 years to figure out whether or not Caden Primo is their guy, whether or not Caden Primo is part of the future or is the future of the goaltending position for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer because when I watched Caden Primo last season with a bunch of guys that probably didn't care that much, Caden Primo wasn't good. He was bad. Watch Caden Primo in the preseason. You know, nothing stands out that makes you believe, whoa, look, man, we are on the cusp of something special here, which takes us to 18-year-old Uri Slafkovsky, the number 1 overall pick from this summer for the Montreal Canadiens. And look, I mean, yes, it hasn't gone perfectly. It hasn't. If I ask you to throw a comment in the comment section, has there been a standout Uri Slafkovsky moment so far? And you're searching. You know what the standout moment was? It came in the rookie tournament when he feathered a nice pass to his teammate, fellow Slovakian, Filip Mesar, who potted a shorthanded goal, and the Canadians, with that little moment of electricity, looked pretty good. Other than that, no, it hasn't happened. There hasn't been a moment in the sun where you watch this 18-year-old behemoth, 6'3", 240-pound specimen go, wow, this guy is fire. I can't wait to see this guy every day. And to that I say, who cares? Who cares? Who cares that Uri Slafkovsky hasn't had a standout look-at-me moment 1 week into his first NHL training camp and he's 18 years old? Like I see, for those that are disappointed, and I say, why? I ask, why are you disappointed? Why do you care so much that this guy doesn't look good? Now, I'm not saying any of you are calling Uri Slafkovsky a bust. I certainly hope not. He's 18 years old. Let's relax. But that's the main point of this argument here. Uri Slafkovsky is 18 bleeping years old. How many times in the last 10 years has this organization looked at a prospect, a highly rated, highly touted prospect, and say, you know what? Put him in the show. Trial by fire. Sink or swim. What other cliche you want to attribute to this? The Canadiens organization has done that time and time and time again. Guillaume Latendresse lays a big hit down in the offensive zone. Chance of gee. You know, Michael McCarron says, I'm going to cave Milan Lucic's face in. All of these trials by fire, these sink or swim, and this methodology is a failed one. It doesn't work for everybody. And why the organization continued to apply the same methodology to almost every prospect defies logic. And I, for one, I am happy to see this organization look at someone like Filip Mesar, who's been a standout, a very positive development from Canadiens training camp. That, according to Elliot Friedman and his sources, the Canadiens are going to loan this guy back to the Ontario Hockey League for a full season. Great. Because in my mind, when I look at prospects that are trying to be developed and ultimately graduated to the highest level, like when I look at 18, 19, 20-year-old athletes, all of these guys have projections. All of these guys have markers they have to hit, right? Like Filip Mesar is an example. He's going to go to the Ontario Hockey League. This guy is a future NHL player. And that comes with a certain set of expectations. So when I look at Filip Mesar, who was impressed at rookie camp, who's impressed at the main camp, and if he does go back to the CHL and plays in the Ontario Hockey League, then he should dominate that team. And he should put up mammoth-sized points. And he should go play for Slovakia at the World Juniors. And then he should go contend for Memorial Cup and be a key contributing offensive player to that Memorial Cup run. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you're that young, with the expectation of one day you'll be at the show, you have goals to hit. You have expectations that as an 18 or 19-year-old prospect, yes, you should do this. Yes, you should have done that. And that's what I want this organization to do. I want them to look at someone like Philip Meshar and say, okay, great camp, good job. We're high on you. We believe in you. We believe one day you will be a shining star for this organization. Now, between now and then, here's your assignment. I want you to go to the Ontario Hockey League. I want you to lead that team in goals or assists or whatever it is. I want you to dominate there. And I want to see you make your World Junior team. I want you to have a good tournament there. And then I'd like to see you win a Memorial Cup. Right? And these are the goals. These are the objectives that you want your prospects to ultimately hit before they get graduated and they come in with a good set of confidence, a good track record, something they can rely on and look back on and reference when times get tough. Well, that's how I came out of that situation. So when we're talking about an 18-year-old number one overall pick, I don't want to say he's a project because he's a number one overall pick, but there's so much room to grow there. Let's not sharpen our claws today, and let's not kill an 18-year-old because he's underwhelming, underperforming, not meeting your set of expectations. Not meeting your expectations, right? Like, what are your expectations? And sometimes we get caught in this trap. Well, you're drafted number one overall, therefore, you should have already be an NHL player. You should be on the cusp of 100 points. You should be on the number one line and get all the tough assignments, right? Sometimes we get caught in that little trap of number one equals this, that, and the other. No. Shane Wright's not having a good camp either. And this guy for his entire life was projected to go number one overall. I think he's pointless with Seattle. I think. Don't hold me to that. But yes, Juraj Slafkovsky hasn't stood out yet. And to that I say, I don't really care. It's okay. It's a process. This is year one. Dude, this is camp one. This is week 2 of camp number 1. And Slafkovsky, who's he played with? Connor, my partner on TSN 690, Connor McKenna, telling me Yoel Armia, Rem Pitlick, and Kirby Doc. Like, it's not Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield here. It's not who we're talking about. So it's a process, and I'm all about the process. I'm all about the process because I've been down this path before of the organization throws guys into the water without a life preserver, throws them into the deepest, darkest parts of the water and says, go, good luck, swim. I'll see you back on shore. Some guys that works, some guys it doesn't work. Very difficult. And so I, for one, I put my hand up. I say, I don't care. I don't care that Juraj Slafkovsky hasn't looked like how a number one should look. I don't care that Philip Meshar is going to go back to the CHL. That's what I want. That's what I want. And now, on other avenues, there are things the team could do better at. Sure, I don't disagree. The team could be a lot better with discipline, and it's something I'm going to be looking for from Martin St. Louis and his coaching staff. I think Caden Gooley's been fantastic. Man, this guy can skate. He's got a shot. Defensively, we'll see what happens with Justin Barron on the right side. Jordan Harris. Matthias Norlinder continues. For those that are covering training camp and have been covering it consistently, Matthias Norlinder has been a disappointment. And consider that, his prospect, his ceiling was very, very high. There's still a lot of room left to go. It's week number 2. The Canadiens play 4 more preseason games. And 3 of them are against the Ottawa Senators. Tonight it's Toronto at 7. It's Ottawa tomorrow, and then Ottawa Thursday and Saturday. One of those games is Kraft Hockeyville. That's a Saturday. And I think the Thursday game will go from Gander, Newfoundland. I think it's so cool that I'm sure other teams do this. I don't know, but I think it's so cool that the Montreal Canadiens take their product on the road to other parts of our country that never get to see the Canadiens in person. They only get to watch them on TV. And imagine, we live here in Montreal, where bodies are left in the trunk and cars are incinerated at downtown Montreal. Yay, that was fun to wake up to this morning. When I walked out my front door, downtown Montreal, if you're not aware of the news this morning, there was another, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest this was a murder, that there was a charred body found in an abandoned car that had been set on fire late Sunday night into Monday morning. When I walked out my front door this morning, there are cops everywhere. There's cops everywhere. I said, holy shit, what the hell's going on here? It's the second time in the last month or so because there was a drive-by up on St. Antoine Mountain Guy area. And this morning there's cops on one end of my street. There's cops on the other end of my street. And I go in the middle of my street. I'm looking around. I see cops everywhere. And I'm like, well, another day, another night in the city. I go into my driveway, a garage, driveway, indoor parking. That's right, living my best life. I back my Ash Gregoire Chambon Nissan Maxima out of my driveway. And what do I hear? Brip, 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 brip. Cop lights me up. I'm in my driveway. Backing, I'm going to work. It's like 4:30 in the morning, And he goes, "Qu'est-ce qui se passe?" I go, well, qu'est-ce qui se passe? I said, I'm going to work. I laugh at him. And he's got a flashlight. He's flashing. And because I think, at this point now I'm thinking, oh, shit went sideways here. And maybe, he saw me come out of my house. I'm not like I'm some sort of suspect that's been hiding forever, And he goes, qu'est-ce qui se passe? I laugh at, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Je m'en vais au travail, mon gars. So I say to him, I really have to put on the Quebecois when I talk to the fuzz, so they don't give me a hard time. I want to speak to them like they're used to being spoken to, So I'm like, qu'est-ce qui se passe à mon coin, là? And Joe, on dit pas ça. It's always big secret. It's always it's fucking 4:30 in the morning. It's a world secret here, And so I tell him, I said, I got to go to work. And there's like a kind of an alleyway, a shortcut I could take because all the streets are blocked. And he was actually very nice. He actually moved his cruiser, said, come out this way. And so I went out that way. And then as soon as I got to work, I went right to our newsroom. I said, hey, I looked at my colleague who works for Energy Radio on the French side, Etienne Phoenix. I went, Etienne, qu'est-ce qui se passe hier soir? Un autre meurtre à Montréal. And he's like, yeah. And it looks like it was a body found in the trunk of a car. And I'm like, are we guessing that it's a murder? I mean, how many times have you locked yourself in the trunk of your own car and accidentally set it on fire? It's like, oh. Anyways, that's how kind of my case started today, which was kind of interesting and concerning all at the same time. Speaking of concerning, welcome to week 4 of the National Football League. Hopefully you followed my picks because I went 3-0, lit it up on NFL Sunday. Thank you, Arizona Cardinals. Very good. Thank you, New England Patriots, the 9.5 points at the Green Bay Packers, who, if they're not running the ball efficiently with Aaron Jones, I don't know what Green Bay is going to do this season because the NFC looks like it's the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles, who were full value for their come-from-behind win over Jacksonville yesterday, and it's everybody else. Like Tom Brady and the Bucs they look okay. They don't look great. Their defense looks better than anything their offense provides. They're 2-2 now. The Green Bay Packers, shrug shoulder emoji. I think the Minnesota Vikings 3-1 are fraudulent. I think the New York Giants at 3-1 are fraudulent. So, yeah, I really do believe the NFC is the 4-0 Eagles and everybody else, which takes us to the wrap-up of Week 4 tonight. The LA Rams go to San Francisco as 1.5-point dogs. I like San Francisco in this game. I think it stays under the posted total. But we saw San Francisco tangle with the Buffalo Bills, and I think the Rams, with their terrible offensive line production, are just not going to be able to hang. So, yeah, call it. I'm calling it now. San Francisco covers and wins the game. We'll wait and see because it's been a very fascinating start to another fun NFL season. Quarterback injuries, disappointments across the board. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers needed overtime at home to get by New England and their third-string quarterback, which was interesting, right? Bailey Zappi. I can't remember this guy's name. Standout out of Western Kentucky. Third string quarterback after Brian Hoyer got pancaked at Lambeau Field on Sunday afternoon. We saw Zach Wilson with the Jets be so efficient, so good in the fourth quarter in their comeback win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, who benched Mitch Trubisky, threw the local boy Kenny Pickett into the fold. The Jaguars coughed up 14 points and lost the game, and Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, and it's not even close right now. And the Buffalo Bills and Lamar Jackson, that one goes to Buffalo. Lamar didn't look great, trying to stay in the pocket, trying to pass that ball. Not the best game from a guy who was perhaps the front runner for MVP honors. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, it's Monday. It's a brand new week at K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur, Highway 138 in Ganawagi. You're getting premium fuel at discount prices, and it's Monday. I keep telling you about their unbelievable snack selection, right? K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. They have snacks that look. I don't know how you roll. I'm a bit of a psycho in that I have no problem. Like I'll go to Plattsburgh for the purpose of having Chick-fil-A. Full stop. I openly admit this. And when I do make that trip, I'll go to there's a Hanover grocery store not far from the Chick-fil-A in Plattsburgh. And I go just for the snacks. They have so much variety and options that we just, don't have here for, I don't know, whatever the reasons. I'm not smart enough to know why they have snacks that we just don't have access to. But K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur on Highway 138 in Ganawagi has those snacks. So like yesterday, full football day, and we're watching 7 hours of football. You need snacks. You get them at K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. They have a gas jockey there, so it's very simple. You roll up to K-Stop Gas Bar, Depanneur, Highway 138 in Ganawage. You say, put me $40 of gas in my gas tank. They have a guy there that does it. While they're doing that, you walk into the store. You load up on your snacks. You want smokes, you want booze, you got all that stuff there too, right? But they serve fresh, hot meals every single day. You know what today? Today's Monday. Today, on Monday, you're getting buffalo ranch chicken in a quinoa bowl. Huh? K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur is doing quinoa? What? Yes, they are. Tomorrow's a new day. They got steak on the op. They got tacos there. They got garden-grown vegetables, fresh vegetables. You want a great BLT sandwich? None of this pre-made, stuffed in plastic bullshit. This is the real deal. You get it at K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. Fresh meals prepared daily, Monday through Sunday. Check them out at K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. And as I keep telling you, it's cold. You see how cold it was every morning? 2 degrees, -1, frost warnings, depending if you're up north in Quebec. Like I went to play golf on Friday. I was up at Mirabel. Love that golf course at Griffon des Sources. And there was a frost delay. First frost delay of the year. And as a direct result, you know what that means? It means our pets are cold. That means you have to take care of your dog. You have to take care of your cat. You have to take care of all your pets. And that's why I encourage you to support me by supporting my sponsors, Little Bear Pet Store on St. Catherine, in Westmount, online, littlebearonline.com. You can see there's a little bit of a scrolling message there. That's the website. See the promo code? In the car 10. Apply that promo code at checkout. So if you're a big Montreal Canadiens fan and you want to show your allegiance, your loyalties to the rest of the city when you're walking your dog proudly on the streets of Montreal, you get your puppy a nice little Montreal Canadiens winter coat. You can get your puppy a Montreal Canadiens little set of pajamas, something to keep them warm, something to make them stylish and proud as you walk your dog on the streets of downtown Montreal. And nobody takes care of your pet better than Chuck Altman and his amazing staff at Little Bear Pet Store, online, littlebearonline.com, promo code in the car 10. Thank you, everybody. Look at all these. Costa Mamas, what's up? Costa Ticani Sere, happy birthday. Keith Rowe, happy birthday, Sean. Thank you very much, everybody. Happy to be born 44 years ago today. I want to thank my parents for making love and for choosing to. So you know what? We're gonna have a kid, despite how young they were. My parents were very, very young. I'm 44, and my dad is 62. Yeah, so they're my parents are very young. So I thank them for hooking up, getting it on. Not using any prophylactics, any things of that nature, and say, here I am. Look at me. Their pride and joy. And I could be a better son. I could call my parents more often. I know I can. I will. And maybe you can take a lesson from me. Don't be like me. Call your mother. Call your father. Call them more often. They love to hear from you. My mother tells me all the time, you know, like, because sometimes, especially in the summer, I golf a lot and because you know, you get your mom on the phone sometimes. It takes a few minutes. You know, you don't want to rush conversation with your mother. You know, so sometimes I'm on the phone 20, 25 minutes with my mom, catching up, and sometimes it's just easier to text. My mother's, you know, in her 60s, whatever. Not the most, she's not an idiot, not the most technologically inclined individual, old school, and that's fine. And so sometimes I'll shoot a text to my mom or whatever, and then I'll call her a day or two later, and she'll just flat out tell me she just likes to hear my voice, and that's nice, and I understand. So I gotta do better, and you could do better. Maybe I'm just trying to share my guilt with you. I don't know. I'll let someone else with a better education than what I possess break that down. All right, but thank you seriously on this Back to Work Monday. Montreal Canadiens back in action. The Toronto Maple Leafs, my friends, are bringing the heat. Who cares, wins or losses? Does it matter to you? Honestly, do you care if the Montreal Canadiens win a preseason game or not? Or is it more important that they look a certain way, perform a certain way, maybe put out an exciting brand of hockey? Yeah, that's fun. You know, win every now and again, that's okay too. In the Car with Star, brought to you as always, Ash Gregoire, Chambord Nissan, open on Saturdays. Go get your tire change. Beat the rush. Beat the rush. You don't have to drive a Nissan to get your tire change and your car ready for winter. Ash Gregoire, Chambord Nissan, online at chambordnissan.com. Any car maker model, bring it over there. ShawmutNissan.com. You can book your service appointment online. And K-Stop Gas Bar in Deppener. Go eat that chicken ranch on quinoa today, okay? And littlebearonline.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments, everybody. We'll see you later this week. In the aftermath of the Montreal Canadiens playing 4 preseason games this week. Tonight it's against Toronto, 3 times against the Ottawa Senators this week.